Shiro Maekawa wrote for the Sonic games from 1998 to 2009. This 11-year tenure as one of the head writers for the Sonic stories saw the plots become more involved and convoluted, with some plots spanning across multiple games. Depending on who you ask in the fandom, this decade of Sonic was influential in creating lifelong fans who still yearn for darker and edgier stories to be told with the Sonic cast. Others will tell you that while the fandom boomed, the stories were giant flaming piles of crap that were never good.
500-pound piece of steaming, stinking, grade A monkey crap!
Man.
Me? I fall somewhere in between, I guess. I like some of the stories told, especially towards the end of Maekawa's run as head writer for the games. But I'm not going to talk about which of the stories from that time period I thought were the best. I want to focus on how Shiro characterized the Blue Blur himself, as it's a conversation that I see come up quite a bit in the fandom, and I want to give my own opinions about the characterization of Sonic because the topic is interesting to me, and I've thought about making a video like this for months anyway. As I said before, the focus of this video is on Sonic's character and how I think Maekawa came to really understand the Blue Hedgehog well. I recently read a transcript of an interview he did where he stated that he wasn't a fan of the classic era of Sonic games and their stories, which I found interesting because of how close Sonic's character was to the classics in games like SA1 and Heroes, for example, two stories that he would work on. He said that when he became the writer starting with SA1, he wanted to create a Sonic that he thought was cool. I think we can see this with Shadow the Hedgehog for a majority of his time in writing the Sonic games. We see it with how well Shadow was written in SA2. A powerful being driven by hate who ultimately turns face and sacrifices themselves for the greater good. It's shonen as fuck, but it worked, and made the demand for Shadow hot amongst the fandom, which spurred Sega to bring him back, ultimately leading to the character becoming uninteresting almost immediately in Heroes. I don't know if this was because of any mandates at the time, but Shadow's whole storyline that plagued the story of the games for a good bit of the early 2000s was just bad stuff to me. I won't blame Maekawa for all of that though. Izuka was the head writer of Shadow the Hedgehog after all.
A Chaos Emerald? You've got to be kidding me, guys. This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me.
What?
Shadow as a character wouldn't rebound until Sonic 06, where Maekawa was once again at the helm as head writer. And once again, Shadow's character was largely uninteresting, but it wasn't outright bad like the rest of that game was. He did have a cool line at the end of his story though.
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
Sonic himself, as a result, just settled into the generic shonen protagonist role for much of Shiro's time as a writer, and I think the series suffered for it. I don't mind an MCE being surrounded by more interesting characters, but Maekawa was no master of writing interesting character interactions.
Well now, I may not look it, but I'm a real treasure hunter. Unlike a certain echidna I know.
What?
A lot of the characters that had potential to be interesting, like Knuckles, Tails, Rouge, and especially Shadow himself, devolved over time, losing some of, or a lot of what made them interesting in the first place. Once again, this could just be due to Sega mandates, as I'm pretty sure that after Sonic 06, the whole Sonic stupid friends thing was in full force, driving Sega to tell Sonic Team to focus more on Sonic himself. As a result, the games obviously made Sonic the only main playable character, and if I'm honest, I think it also made Shiro Maekawa's writing better. Sonic and the Secret Rings, as well as Sonic and the Black Knight, are outright horrible games.
I forgot to tell you.
Okay, I'm not gonna act like I haven't said anything bad about Secret Rings. Gameplay wise, it's not good, but like, Sonic Labyrinth is right there, you know? Anyway, where gameplay fails in Secret Rings, the writing absolutely does not. This game's story isn't super well written or anything, but for my money, it's actually one of the better stories that came out of that era of Sonic. One thing that I actually liked most about this game was the character interactions. Sonic and Shara specifically had some really great moments together.
Okay. Thanks for the hankies, though.
Oh, please. Someone tell me that this isn't really happening.
All right, let's go.
Take me to this world of the Arabian Nights.
As you wish, Master.
Quit it, will you? My name's Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Very well then, Sonic.
One thing I instantly noticed about this scene is Sonic immediately doing away with his title of Master over Shara, telling her to refer to him by his true name. I think small stuff like this really makes Sonic's character come across well. He is a being who hates oppression, and the implication of having ownership over another being doesn't sit well with him. So much so that he vehemently denies the title of Master, and over the course of the game, develops a personal relationship with Shara, which becomes the focal point of the story.
Okay then, guess I'll just have to deal with him the old-fashioned way. And hey, don't look so glum, Shara. I'll have you smiling by the end of this. And that's not me ordering you as your master. That's a promise from me to you.
Yes, all right.
All right, let's do it!
A promise.
Sonic's a hero. If you need help, he's gonna help you, and he's often a pretty good judge of character. Most of the time. Secret Rings does a lot of good for Sonic's character. I've seen people say that Sega doesn't really know what they want to do with him, because one moment he's being cheeky, and then the next moment he's being all insightful and serious. I can see why people would think that there's inconsistency there, but I personally don't see it that way. Why isn't Sonic allowed to have moments where he's expressing different emotions and feelings? Nobody's ever super serious all the time, and no one is ever just full of jokey jokes all the time. If anything, Maekawa did a really good job balancing levity and seriousness throughout this game's story. Sonic, as a person, is not just stuck in one mode all the time, and it's great to see a writer understand that Sonic can have some level of depth to his character that isn't just wisecracking Hedgehog that can't read the room. So yeah, let Sonic be whatever the hell the story calls for him to be. As long as it makes sense within his character, it doesn't matter to me. Before I move on to talking about Black Knight, it must be said that Maekawa did have a co-writer alongside him for the story of Secret Rings, Yojiro Ogawa. He's credited with helping with the field design in SA1, which is also Shiro's department, so that means Yojiro definitely had a hand in writing SA1. He also produced and directed Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Gems Collection, and those two games were massive parts of my childhood, so I can't thank that man enough for putting together a team to make those games. Ogawa is also credited with producing, directing, and helping with the writing of Secret Rings, which probably explains why things such as world building and character interactions are such a clear step above much of the previous mainline Sonic games that came before it. Say what you will about Secret Rings, but the writing for that game is good stuff, and it was obviously a great learning experience for Maekawa, as the things he probably absorbed from Ogawa were present in Black Knight, the game that got Sonic's character right.
It was never about chivalry for me. I just gotta do what I've gotta do. That's all.
I'm dating the hell out of this video by saying this, but Sonic and the Black Knight came out 13 years ago this month, and god do I feel old. Like Secret Rings, it was a game that I enjoyed a lot when I was a kid, but I would not go back to play that joint today at all. I'll stick to watching all the cutscenes on YouTube, thank you very much. Despite its clunky gameplay, I think many people would agree that the Black Knight story was excellent. First and foremost, Sonic is just so damn cool in this game.
Get it? No problem. I'm used to stuff like this.
He's got all that attitude that the original Sonic team conceptualized for him back in the 90s. It makes it even weirder to me that Maekawa said he doesn't like Genesis era Sonic. He essentially made the perfect version of him in Black Knight, at least he did in my opinion. Underneath Sonic's joking and brash exterior, he's got a heart of gold. He understands the assignment every time, and the assignment is living his life the way he wants to. He even persuades those around him to do the same. It's a simple message, but even basic messages told well enough can have a profound impact on people. For example, one of the main themes of this game, Live Life by Crush 40, the greatest band to ever grace the earth by the way, is an excellent song, and it resonates with many people because of its wonderful little message. Live your life in the way that only you can. You deserve to. Sonic does this to the fullest. His vision for living life is being an absolute hero and having a good time while saving the world. I have to make it clear that the theme of Black Knight is so central to Sonic's character. I think this is the first time where the story has everything built around Sonic's moral code, from his personality to his shining example of heroism. This scene from early on in the story of Black Knight is the prime example that many people turn to when they talk about how excellent Sonic's character is in this game.
Are you ready?
Ready for what?
If you remove that sword and defeat King Arthur with it, you shall forever be the worst of knights, slayer of kings.
Guess I can't be the hero every time.
Sonic very much understands that he's playing the bad guy here, but simply accepts the burden and goes through with what needs to be done. This is my favorite thing about superheroes that I very rarely see. And I know I'm saying this as someone who's not big into comics. I don't follow the MCU, and I barely read any of the Marvel or DC comics. But there are a few superheroes that I've seen enough of to get an idea of what I believe true heroism to be. Extraordinary people who take on the unknown burden of carrying out tasks that regular society cannot even hope to face on their own. Doing what's right no matter what troubles they may face, and being able to see the good in people. Characters like Superman and Saitama of One Punch Man are two examples of this kind of hero I immediately think of alongside Sonic himself. They recognize that society needs that hope to turn to, and gladly thrust themselves into harm's way. I see a good bit of moral ambiguity amongst heroes in media today. Normally wholesome characters thrusted into positions against their own, or against their opposition, that makes it so that neither side can either be completely right or completely wrong. Black Panther, Civil War, and the character Thanos are just a few examples of this. And all of those stories are good stories, but I'm a simple man. Give me a story about a super being saving people and connecting with them on a deeper level whenever possible. Symbols of hope in uncertain times. It's corny as hell, but I love that stuff. Sonic in this game is a really good example of that. Maekawa wrote what I believe to be the perfect characterization of Sonic in this game. And it's a shame that they canned him for lesser writers and worse mandates on the writing that subjected Sonic to what I honestly think is just a mediocre character now.
Honey, why isn't my jetpack working?
Maybe because I borrowed the exhaust hose?
I have hope for Sonic Frontiers' story purely because Ian Flint is the master of working around mandates, even if they can't hit it out of the park every time. Shiro Maekawa is one of the very few people who I believe understands Sonic as a character really well. The portrayal of Sonic as a free spirit, constantly defying the evils of the world, is wonderful stuff, even if it does sound basic. It's about how it's written, you know? I kinda wish he still had a hand in the game's stories. Whether you think all the stories he gave us were good or not, they did leave us with a lot of memories that left a big impression on the Sonic fandom for years. Make of that what you will. I personally think he got better over time, but let me know what's your favorite Maekawa era Sonic story. I want to give this video a shout out to Backwards Rocket Studio, a project dedicated to providing excellent voice acting to the original Ace Attorney games. It's a really fun experience watching this series. As someone who recently got into Ace Attorney, this is great stuff, and I recommend any Ace Attorney fan, hell, I recommend anybody to seek this out and give it a watch. You won't be disappointed. That's all I got for now, so peace.